Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Block Bull right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, today we're going to look at some sort of cryptos we don't tend to look at, namely Stronghold. We're going to take a quick look at Velo. We'll take a look at some of the biggest gainers in the shortlist as well. So there could be some fairly familiar cryptos that we go over, but some that we don't cover so often. But before we get going, we have got this news coming out today. This is 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern time if any Americans are watching this. So that is sort of FOMC minutes. So that will give us more insight as to why we had this rate cut recently, and it'll give us a little bit more insight to what we can expect in Q4 as well. So that will probably create a little bit of volatility on the sort of daily sort of time frame, if you will. And then we've got CPI coming out tomorrow as well. So quite impactful information coming out anyway this week. You got producer price index here, and then Michigan consumer sentiment index as well on Friday. So that covers all the impactful information economically in terms of fundamental analysis. Again, if you need a plan, XRP plan, XDC plan are both here. If you need the link is down below in the description. If you need a plan for this bull market, so you can hold on to your bag, because I'll tell you what, there's going to be so many winners in this market cycle coming up. I feel like if you're in crypto now, you're going to win, but ultimately you don't want to be the one holding the bag when, ultimately the bear market comes around to bite everyone's ass. So make sure you've got a plan in order to protect yourself. We are securing generational wealth. I believe a lot of people will make a lot of money, but if you want to secure your wealth, we've got the XRP plan and the XDC plan. Now, before we dive into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to these two guys. We've got Crypto Banker, who covers a lot of Stronghold. So the ticker symbol is SHX. Quick shout out. He's your guy if you want to, know anything about Stronghold once we get over to the charts. He's also got his own crypto channel as well. And he talks about how Stronghold is, basically dealing with banks, institutional sort of entities that are, dealing with trillions of dollars that can actually flood the market for Stronghold. Okay, Stronghold chart is here. We've just had a quick look on the sort of macro time frame, lines with markers, weekly time frame again. This is like sort of risk to reward. The apex is down here. Now, this is stipulating, this particular chart stipulating week commencing 21st of October. So there's around a 30% correction. So I wouldn't be looking to buy Stronghold just yet, me personally anyway. But yeah, the risk is obviously out. The reward is outweighing the risk, should I say. So you can see risk to reward ratio is around 5.3, and that's just to take us back up to all-time highs. Obviously, I do expect Stronghold to go into price discovery during this super cycle. Where we can get to, not quite sure yet without looking into it in depth, which I may do in another video, but that is Stronghold. Next up is Velo, probably our biggest gainer, 6% now. Velo is interesting today, actually, because in the last couple of videos, we've seen Velo breaking down in the charts. Okay, and this is another guy. He's actually a British guy. I've literally just discovered him in the last couple of weeks. Just like typing into YouTube like Velo charts and that, but he's really, really good. And I feel like these sort of smaller accounts like myself are really, really strong. They give really, not that it's financial information, but I feel like some of these people are really talented and they don't actually get the flowers, if you will, like really, really good at what they do. But if you want to follow anything to do with Velo as well, he's got some similar charts to me, to be honest with you. So yeah, he's kind of doing all the same sort of markings, which basically says, we're on the right lines with Velo. Ultimately, Velo is going to be absolutely massive in the game. But what I want to bring your attention to is, let me just again bring us onto lines with markers. Now, what is going on with this internet? I'll tell you what, this laptop can go through the window. Tell you. Right, now we're on with the lines with markers. It looks as if this yellow support line here was breaking down, and it looked as if we was going to revisit it for another bounce on this like more sort of secure sort of support, because this is solid support in my view. Yes, we've had a couple of fake outs, but that's mainly because it was like marking the bottom of this sort of trend reversal. We got like the all-time low down here. Since obviously we set all-time highs in the previous cycle, so the lows down here, and then we, gradually trended up to the upside. So ultimately, we've been in a sort of bull market ever since like December of 2022, which is significant for Velo because a lot of other cryptos have been in a slowward and a slow grind to the downside ultimately. So Velo's done really well over the past sort of couple of years, if you will. But what I want to bring your attention to is the fact that it looked as if we was losing this yellow support line on the weekly. If I just go in now onto the 4 hourly, providing my Wi-Fi connection will do me good, which it has done. Thank you very much. It looks as if this sort of candle, this is 4 hourly candle now. Velo is looking to recover this yellow support line. So this could have been a possible fake out to the downside. So this is why weekly charts are pivotal, and I always wait for Sunday, if I can help it, to make any decisions in terms of like cryptos, rotations, buying, selling, because I want to see where the closes are. So it looks as if Velo is actually making a move ahead of this economic data, which is going to be released. And I do expect crypto to rally a little bit because there is going to be some sort of insight, and that's coming in the next 2 to 3 hours. Okay, probably by the time this video gets released, by the time you guys are watching this video, FOMC minutes are probably out. But ultimately, this is what we're looking to reclaim as support. And if Velo does actually retake this as support and we get a close come Sunday above, that's looking bullish. And all of a sudden, we're looking back up into this green order block towards the end of this year, certainly in Q4. So that would be an easy sort of, let's have a look. If we was to get up here, 150 minimum, in my opinion. Obviously, we'd have to break this sort of critical structure, this blue trend line going up here. We'd have to break that in order to get up to around that 260% mark. But that would be a nice sort of, that would be a nice sort of game before the end of like Q4. Like I was saying, I do believe altcoin market can get going around the sort of 25th of November. So if we get going, what a solid close that would be going into sort of Christmas, and then New Year we can literally just sit back. You guys can tune into these crypto channels, and I'll be with you. I'll be watching other people's crypto channels, and I'll be just watching the fireworks and just watching everyone just with like a big smile on their face, getting chuffed is because the bags are like 2, 3, 4, 5x within space of a week. So yeah, but guys, just make sure you get yourself a plan if you're not already. There's no point having thousands, tens of thousands. Some of you guys will have obscene amount of money in the market. Now, what is the point in losing tens of thousands of dollars for the sake of $100 when, these crypto plans will tell you when to get out of the market in order to preserve, most of your, because it's called secure wealth because you're actually cashing out unrealized profits. Okay, so make sure you've got a plan, and that'll save you a lot of money in the long run for the sake of $101. But that's Velo looking really good. So that's gonna keep definitely keep my eye on Velo anyway going into this weekend. See where we end up. Now let's just have a quick look at XRP because I was looking. I've actually deleted the TA. I knew I'd do this before. I knew I needed it because I've actually attempted to record this particular video a couple of times, but I've had some nuisances in the background, shall we say. So, again, we're looking at 35, 36 weeks before we break out. But ultimately, what I wanted to bring the XRP Army's attention to is down here in this 16-17 cycle now. I'm probably going to have to go to the daily to get a better read on this. But ultimately, what this is stipulating is that during this market cycle, we actually got a breakdown. We actually brought below the wedge. You can see here a breakdown as we go into the apex, which is what is happening in the current sort of micro sort of price action which we're experiencing here. So look at this price action here where we brought down here, and this is about, say this is middle of February. This played out for this is March, isn't it? So this is about 4 weeks where we actually break down. So I'm just going to sort of copy that sort of fractal there. And then I'm going to bring it across to current price action just to see where we are. So yeah, that was 4 weeks worth of fake out to the downside. This is going to take forever now. Let's just speed things up a little bit. Come on, Az. I need my tea's probably ready now as well. My tea's probably waiting for me. So after this, I'm going to wrap up the video. But ultimately, look at this fake art here. Let's delete this box here. This is a range box. So we're currently ranging between 66, 67 cent to about 42 cents. So that's sort of range that we've been experiencing for the past 17 months. Now look at this fake art here. When was this fake art here? When was that? That was June. So that's been going longer than a month. So this is obviously a market structure that's been playing out a lot longer. Where the hell's that yellow line? Oh, it's because I'm getting it mixed up with US election line. Let me delete that out of the way because it's getting in my way. But you can see here with this fake art, if I just drag it out a little bit. Now let's try and marry this up the best we can. Very, very difficult. So something like that. So you can see where we fake out down here. That marks a lot. Again, we can't really account for any wicks, lines with markers. But this yellow, again, look at it. We're challenging the top of this sort of peak here. Again, fake out, bouncing around. We're trading inside. And then, could you imagine? We're pretty much, according to this anyway, you can move it across slightly. Could you imagine if we get a breakout? Well, not a breakout, but look as if we get a rally now to 63, 64 cent, which is what I've been calling prior to the US elections. And then if we actually continue to actually trade outside the wedge here for XRP above, say, I'd say around 65, 66 cent. If we trade above 65, 66 cents for like a couple of days consecutively, XRP could actually start pumping around sort of elections. You can see if you go down to the bottom of the chart here and follow my cursor down, we're looking at around Friday, Saturday, 8th, 9th of November before you get that impulse. But this is just going off this fractal here, guys. In my opinion, fractals are not that accurate in comparison to the time analysis. Now, I've talked about sort of 32 to 35 week sort of window of opportunity in to accumulate XRP. Then I'd say 35, 36 weeks after the Bitcoin halving is where we get that sort of explosion to the upside. You can see here, 36 weeks, boom, 36 weeks takes us here, boom, 36 weeks, tip of the apex, boom. So that we're looking at New Year, which is why I'm looking at other altcoins from the 24th of November, especially to really get going, so I can run them up until 35, 36 weeks post halving. So this is where we are, guys. Right, I'm going to get me tea anyway. Like I said, guys, if you need a plan, theblockbulls.com down below in the description, link there if you want to grab yourself a plan. I've been the Blockbull. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do what you got to do as always. And if you want to stay tuned, make sure to click the notification bell. And I shall see you soon, guys. Blockbull over and out.